Driving to save the world from the evil Decepticons, the heroic Autobots are led by Optimus Prime. He's more than meets the eye. He's a Rohan in disguise.
Rohan? Who is this guy? Rohan? The one and only Rohan!
Hello everyone, thank you to my show hordes. Welcome back to the corner after a monstrous TFUKCON convention, which you will have all experienced, whether that be in person or virtually with us here on the show, and I hope you enjoyed it. I am still recovering from that monstrosity, bone-faced idiot who came along with us. I hate that guy. And at the same time, I'm sure most of you are still getting over your hangovers. But I thought I would do a little review of the day myself. Not like Boneface and his video diary. I'm going to talk about the unique Transformers that I had for sale and that were popular at the show, and specifically some of the weird and wonderful bits that were picked up by fellow community members. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because some of those bits that I sold were ridiculously weird and wonderful, and the odds and ends. I mean, obviously I sold a plethora of traditional kind of War for Cybertron type stuff. I mean, Tyrone's son picked up Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, so hopefully he enjoyed that. And of course Andy picked up Studio Series 86 Wreck-Gar, as well as a few other people who picked up more War for Cybertron and Studio Series bits and pieces. But there was quite a varied collection out there, and some people picked up some weird and wonderful bits. Probably my best customer was our friend Simon Odd, who picked up pretty much almost every single Prime I had on my table, with the exception of G1 Reissue Prime. He picked up the Robot Masters Prime, which is a very cool figure, now quite outdated, but nice metallic paint scheme, cool axe and transformation. He also picked up the Rock'em Sock'em Optimus Prime, which I've had for donkey's years, and I have no clue what to do with that figure. It was sat in a box, so hopefully he's going to enjoy that and play with his extending pieces, as well as picking up Cyberverse Ultra Prime, which must go into his Prime collection along with all the other Prime. We also had the legend that is Brad picking up some of those Cybertron goodies that he likes to do, short round with all his affiliated paperwork, as well as Machine Wars Mirage, which is a cool little figure which I and my brother picked up from Toy Liquidation Shop out in Florida back in the early 2000s. And while we're on the storyline of Machine Wars, Thew came along and picked up Machine Wars Hoist, which was a epic figure in itself, again picked up at the same time. And I have Machine Wars Hubcap here, who also generated some interest. The same mold, different color scheme obviously. So I hope you enjoy him, Thew. Your segment was epic. Ben's KO Collectibles was next to my stall, and I had a great time speaking with him. He had some cool items up, and I've bought from both Thew and Ben in the past. Great guy. There's also our friend Jazzlet, who picked up a bunch of animal-based robots from me, and they are growing in her collection. I have more for you. Enjoy Classics Grimlock, Energon Dive Bomb and Ravage, and those weird KO Dinobots that I had, the multicolored ones. They were pretty weird and wonderful and cool. So enjoy all of those animated slag. Lee Spike Newman came along and he wanted to pick up the Universe G1 Spy Changer class figures. They were cool. We did a little trade for my Legacy Bulkhead over here. Thank you, sir. As well as also picking up some of the G1 six-liner pieces, which were from the reissue back in the early 2000s. The mini Raiden type figure. Incomplete, unfortunately, but it's a cool little figure and doesn't get a lot of limelight these days. Of course, there was RJ, who picked up my Power of the Primes Dreadwing and Darkwing straight away before the show had even started. He's in there like a cat, is our RJ, knocking over those prams. Dave Shorter picked up probably the weirdest item on my table, which was a KO Dreadwind, G1 Dreadwind, in some funky pink and white and blue colours. It was a bit of an oddball, but it was a cool little figure, apparently quite rare. Sam Leslie and I did a trade for some of his GoBots, and he picked up some of the Micromasters that were in my collection. I had a plethora of G1 Micromasters with all sorts, from Astro Squad to the Battle Squad, and Sam picked up the Battle Squad and he picked up the rescue patrol, which was pretty cool because they were very sentimental to him. Drew's son picked up the DCS drone and the RTS Universe Goldbug, which is a bit of a weird and wonderful figure, and at £5 I couldn't say no. Off you go. Matt Holland came along at the end of the show and picked up my Toy World Hegemon, a good initial 3p masterpiece figure, which doesn't really fit my collection anymore, but still has present. Toys R Us picked up my Kingdom Inferno, which is a great figure in itself, and he is absolutely smitten with that mold. Alicia and her daughter came along and picked up G1 Reissue Starscream, the Walmart edition, with the Megatron Blaster, and also the Cyberverse Ultimate Shockwave. And I had some Action Masters there. Bisto came along and he picked up Double Punch. What a rare figure that is. The small version, which really looks like Scorponok, let's be honest. Very, very cool. So that's it for this week. I just wanted to showcase some of these very oddball figures that were there, that were available, that were purchased. There were a whole plethora of other figures up on the screen here now that were still available. And hopefully next year I'll have more gubbins for you to buy. Anywho, for another week, I've been Rohan on Rohan's Corner. Catch you again next week. Back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.